I'd like to introduce you to Melissa Peoples, an experienced executive assistant coach. She has worked with top executives for over 25 years. As the CEO of M Peoples Consulting, she's on a mission to change how we see administrative roles. In her engaging session, Melissa simplifies executive partnerships. She shares tips to make things less chaotic, boost executive performance, and empower administrative professionals. Melissa is also the creator of Admin Gurus, a YouTube channel that helps admin staff with tech skills. Today, Melissa will talk about revolutionizing administrative roles. With her vast experience and dynamic approach, she'll offer fresh insights to enhance your administrative career. So get ready for a session full of smart strategies and invaluable advice. So now, without further ado, let's welcome Melissa Peoples.
Y'all, who's excited to geek out with me all around accessible tech and how you can foster inclusion? Let's get to it, y'all.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, shake it up.
Hello everyone, welcome to my session here at ES Tech 2023. You might be wondering, which session am I in? So my name is Melissa Peoples and you are attending Fostering Inclusion with Accessible Tech. I am the former Executive Operations Advisor to the CEO of the New York Times. I have a YouTube channel dedicated to administrative professionals, and I have been in the industry just like you for the last 25 years, supporting executives in the C-suite all the way from education to high tech. And now I get to spend all of my time training and educating administrative professionals to learn how to crush it in their role, to utilize technology to create bandwidth in their role so they can really lean into the areas of the business that they absolutely love. And today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my very favorite tips and tricks and some pretty cool tools that will help you foster an environment of inclusion in the workplace. So before we get into the really good stuff, let's just level set on what we're going to be discussing today. So today I'm hoping to open your mindset so that you can explore possibilities. I want to inspire creative thinking and creative problem solving. I want to open up the discussion and share my experience. But what we're not going to talk about is ADA compliance advice. I'm certainly not qualified to give it. I'm just going to be sharing with you my story and my experiences. I can't teach you everything around accessibility, and I don't have comprehensive knowledge of all disabilities. So I'm going to highly encourage you to partner with your HR department to make sure that you're following all the ADA guidelines and for more information around ADA rules and regulations. The other thing that I want to say is accommodations around disabilities are personal to everyone. So there's not a blanket one size fits all. So today I hope to just open your mindset and let you start thinking about things that you may have never considered before. Did you know the WHO estimates that there are 1.3 billion people across this planet who have disabilities? That means 1 in 6. So this is an incredible opportunity for you to stand up as an administrative professional and really drive change, to be the person who is fostering an environment that is accessible for everyone. So you might be wondering, Melissa, why are you talking about accessible tech? So I wanted to share with you a little bit about my story. I actually am 1 in 6. A few years ago, I suddenly lost a large portion of my hearing. Well, as you can imagine, that completely changed my world. I was suddenly going to meetings where there was no closed caption available, or I would attend a meeting with lots of people in the room, and it became very difficult for me to hear what was going on. As you can imagine, speaking at conferences became really challenging. I no longer could hear when people were asking me questions. So I really had to reframe my mindset. And while I was doing that, it really did open up my eyes to see how administrative professionals could really be champions of change to create accessible and inclusive workspaces. We really could be those champions of change that impact other people. I suddenly realized that I may have lost my hearing, but what about someone like my father who lost his eyesight when he was 50, family members who are neurodivergent? I realized that this is an opportunity for advocacy here. We really could take the opportunity as administrative professionals by being the ears and eyes and voices of our team and really start advocating for change. And I hope that's what I inspire you to do today. I want to share with you my experiences and just some of the really amazing tech tools that are out there that can create environments around inclusivity for those that have disabilities. All right, so if you're ready to be the change, let's get to the computer and let's get into the really fun stuff. Let's start with a fun one. Did you know that if you select Windows and H, that you will initiate voice typing? So let's try something out with ChatGPT. If you're not sure what ChatGPT is, it's having a conversation with a computer. It is a wonderful AI tool. If you want more information about it, I have some videos on my YouTube channel. Okay, so to initiate any typing on your computer, doesn't matter where you are, in this case, we're on ChatGPT, I'm going to select Windows and H, and then I'm just going to speak to it and give it a prompt. Please write me a canned message for my emails to let people know that I am currently out of office, period. Write me one that is professional but funny, period. I would like them to know that I am completely disconnecting and I am not going to be checking my email while I'm away. Also, make a funny joke about, is it really urgent? Because few things in life truly are. Okay, so that's pretty funny, but it's also a little bit long. So let's utilize the voice typing to shorten it. Okay, that's a little bit too long for me. Please shorten that. Okay, so you get how this works. Now, if you're on the ChatGPT mobile version, there's actually an option for you there too. So let's pop over there and look at it. Okay, so we're gonna open ChatGPT app on my iPhone. And then right down here on the bottom, you can see this voice symbol. So if I select this, it's actually gonna let me use ChatGPT without having to type. So if I'm struggling with typing and I just want to be able to use voice commands, this is the perfect way for you to use ChatGPT. So I'm going to select it and then I'm going to give it a prompt and tell it what I want it to do. Give me 5 best tips for promoting meeting management that's accessible to everyone. And then when I'm done, I'm going to hit stop. So now instead of typing it into ChatGPT, I've just spoken it. I'm going to hit send and there it goes. If you've been looking for an easy way to use ChatGPT and you needed a way to use voice typing, this is it. I have to tell you that this is probably one of my top favorite tips. If you're looking at the screen, are you noticing closed captions? I hope so. Did you know that there are closed captions both in Microsoft PowerPoint and in Google Slides? Okay, so if you're interested in learning more, let me show you how to do it. Okay, so when you're in PowerPoint, all you do is you go to slideshow, and then over on the far right, you click on always use subtitles. Now, for me, this was a game changer when I started to need closed captions. If I select subtitle settings, you can select the languages that you need it to go from. So I've got it from English to English because I need closed captioning. So I'm going to leave it like that just so you can see what this looks like. Now, if you notice, even though I have selected this, there are no closed captions being shown. And that's just because you have to go into show mode to activate it. Now here I have multiple displays, so I just need to switch it really quickly. There. Now this is what the attendees will see. I believe that this is absolutely a best practice for everyone to turn this on if you're using Microsoft or if you're using Google Slides. Let me show you one more thing before we pop over to Google. So let me give you 2 hacks that I've used with this. The first hack being I'm in a room and I'm not presenting, but I can't quite hear what the speaker is saying. Maybe they're farther away from me. I have actually opened up any PowerPoint presentation and went into show mode, and it automatically will start providing me closed captions in the room. And let me just tell you, it has been a serious game changer for me in moments where I needed extra support. The second thing is that there are over 60 languages that are supported. So maybe you would like your presentation to go from English to Spanish or vice versa. So let me show you what that looks like. Now, I already showed you what it looks like if I go into presentation mode, but let's just change this. I'm going to click on subtitle settings, and I'm going to go leave it on English, but I'm going to change it to Spanish. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to go into show mode and let's see if it can capture it right. Okay, now we are in show mode. So what is ChatGPT? It's simply having a conversation with a computer. It understands language and will generate human-like text based on input that it receives. Now, I don't speak Spanish, but if you do, let me know. Is it getting it correct or not? I've tested this a couple times, and what I found is that the more that you're speaking, the better it becomes. Now let me show you how to do this in Google. So open up any slide. I just pulled one out from our community group. I'm going to go under a slideshow. And once I do that, on the bottom left over here, if I hover, you're going to see an ellipsis. So I'm going to click on the three dots, and then I'm going to go over here to caption preferences. Now I can change my size. I actually just prefer it to be extra large, but I think the default is large. You can also choose if you like the captions on the top or the bottom. For me, I prefer them on the top. And then you can either hit Control-Shift-C or just select toggle captions and it'll turn it on. So this is exactly what it's going to look like. Okay, so we're going to go to the bottom of our screen and search settings. And then once we get there, we're going to go to accessibility. So now that we're under accessibility, there is a lot here that you can choose from. One of the things that I have heard very often is how do we utilize color categories in calendars if someone that we're partnering with or someone on our team is colorblind? So if you are underneath accessibility and then vision, if you go down here to color filters, there are several different options. Now, currently mine is off, but I'm going to move over my calendar here just so you can see what this looks like. Okay, so what I want you to take a look is the color of my categories here. You can see what these colors look like. I do not have a filter on. So let's actually go turn that on, and I want you to see how it changes. So we're back here on the accessibility page, and I'm going to toggle this back on. And if you notice, everything changed. It's very purple. The colors are very pastel. Look over here at my picture for a second. I'm going to go off. When I turn it back on, it all changed. This is a grayscale inverted, a regular grayscale, and here are some of the other ones. So I'm going to go here to this one, and then I'm going to go back to my calendar. So as you can see, even the colors of my categories have really changed. And for someone who's dealing with color blindness, it's a really easy way for you to make sure that they can still use their categories as they need to, but also make it accessible for them. Let me introduce you to Speechify. It was actually created by someone who has dyslexia to help others who have reading disabilities. There are so many different reasons why people use speech readers, so let me show you one of the top tools on the market.
Welcome to Speechify. Speechify can read to you in the highest quality digital voices available anywhere.
Hi, my name is John. Did you know that reading and listening at the same time increases comprehension?
Yo, it's Snoop D-O-double-G, and I'm an English voice from the United States. It's time for you to get your reading superpowers.
Speechify is used by more than 20 million people who use it to read faster and understand more.
All right, so let's click try for free.
To last for approximately 1 hour. If you have any questions or concerns regarding this meeting, please do not hesitate to contact me.
All right, let's change him. Let's hear what Snoop Dogg's got to say.
Invitation to attend corporate meeting. Dear team member, I would like to invite you to attend a corporate meeting for today at 3 p.m. The meeting will be held in our office and is expected to last.
All right, so there are a lot of people who utilize these kinds of tools. People that are dyslexic, they may have reading comprehension issues. Maybe English is not their first language and they're trying to build their comprehension. Or you have someone who has low vision. So there are a lot of different reasons why people use Speechify, but I love this one because it is the top rated speech reader on the market. Okay, so let's switch over to Outlook. As we all know, email is the main way that many of us are communicating in business. So there's a couple really cool things that are available. We're going to look at one, how to use Immersive Reader, which is a wonderful text-to-speech that is available in all Microsoft products. But we're also going to check this for accessibility. There is a really powerful accessibility checker in all of the Microsoft products as well. So let's just dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on File, and then we're going to go down here to Options, and then we're going to select Accessibility. So there's a couple things here that I think it's important for you to know about. The first one is sometimes this is a default. I've seen a lot of people have this as their default, but you can choose when you want to see accessibility warnings. So there is a really fabulous accessibility checker that's really in all of the Microsoft products. And we're going to look at that in a minute, but I'm going to actually select Show me accessibility warnings while I work. You can also choose this one. There's a few other options here that you can have, but the other thing that I want you to look for is automatic alt text. It's really important that you think about giving either pictures, graphics, tables, all of that to have a text that is added to it so that a screen reader will know what it's reading. If you select automatically generate an alternate text for me, Outlook will go ahead and do that for you. They're not always the best. We'll look at it, but at least it's better than nothing. Okay, so the other thing that I want you to look at is we're going to go underneath the document display options and we're going to select on stationery and fonts. Now, once we do that, it's going to open up our personal stationery. Now, best practice is actually to have all fonts at least to 12. So I'm going to change mail messages, and I'm just also going to make sure that I have a really clear and easily readable font. And I'm going to select 12 and hit OK. And then I'm going to do the same thing for messages that I'm replying to and hit OK. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my email signature. But it really is a best practice for all pictures to have an alt text description. And then go to alt text and then just give it a description. So in this case, I'm going to say, okay, so this is what I'm going to put for my logo, and then I'm going to hit OK. Now that I've done that, I will have alt text inside my signature line every single time I open or reply to a new email. Now don't forget, if you have multiple signature lines, you'll need to do that for everyone. While we're talking about accessibility settings in Outlook, I want to show you something that is on Outlook on the web. Now, everybody can get to that. All you have to do is go to the portal.office.com, no www, and sign in. And when you do, just go over here to the left and navigate to Outlook. Once you're here, if you click on the settings icon, let's go down to General, and then let's go to Accessibility. Now, if you notice, this is a little bit different. Well, it's very different than what you just saw on the desktop, but there's something really important here. So right under here, you can actually let other people know that you prefer accessible content by selecting this box. If that's selected, then other people will be reminded to make their messages accessible and can get information on the accessibility checker on how to do that. The other thing can be if you want to adjust your timing, if you want to have the notifications that pop up in Outlook to stay there until you dismiss them. This can be a really great tool for someone who wants to focus in and be more intentional with their notifications. So let's open an email that we're getting ready to send, and we're going to send it to the account that I said I wanted to have accessible content sent to me. So I'm going to add it to the to line, and then as you can see, it automatically had review accessibility issues. Now, there's another way that you can do that, but if you've ever seen this pop up and you wondered why, it's because someone on the receiving end has requested that they receive content that is accessible. So let's click on it, and it's going to pop up this sidebar. Now, if you notice, I'm going to open this up, and it's going to tell me that picture 6, which is going to be this picture right here, that there is no alternative text. So one way that you can do this is if you go up to the top and you go to review, I can always check accessibility here. So we're going to get out of here and let's just take off the info, email address, and then that option is gone for the top. So if I don't see anything here, I can always go to review and then check accessibility. And then it's going to be the exact same sidebar. When I click on this, it's going to tell me what I need to fix. And if I click under verify description, it's going to open up the alt text and it's going to say a person with her hand on her chin. Now, if I like that, I can just get rid of the description automatically generated. And then I can select approve alt text. Now, the one thing about this is that it doesn't exactly give the tone of that picture. And for me, that's a brand issue, right? So I'm going to get out of this because I want to show you another way that you can change the alt text on a picture or a table or any kind of graphic. So you can right click on it and then go view alt text, and the same thing is going to pop up. So there's just more than one way to get to what you need to change. So for here, I'm going to actually change this. Okay, so I'm going to say a woman is looking inquisitively at the words unleash the power of Outlook workshop. Okay, now that we have changed the alt text, let me just have you hear what it would sound like on a screen reader. To open up the Windows screen reader, I'm going to hit the Windows and a plus symbol. And then this comes up, and I'm going to put my mouse right where I wanted to start reading. So let's go right here.
Oh, and don't forget to send me your ideas ASAP. A woman is looking inquisitively at the words unleash the power of Outlook workshop, Melissa Peoples.
A screen reader is going to read whatever is in that alt text description. So it's really a best practice to take a few extra moments and make sure that all of your graphics and your tables are accessible to anyone who's reading them. Okay, let's do the same thing in Google. So I have a picture of me and my family, and to get to the alt text, I'm just going to click on it, left click, not right click, and then I'm going to just go over here to edit alt text. And then this is a very generic, and I'm just going to say picture of 4 smiling people standing in front of a waterfall. And then hit apply. And it's that easy. So here's the email that we were getting ready to send, and let me just go over a couple quick things. The fact that we have click here, that gives no actual description on what they're clicking on. The other thing is I have written as I would be speaking to them, which is a little challenging if you have cognitive disabilities or if you are neurodivergent. So the better way to write this is actually change it up and put every question that I have all in one place. Clearly define when feedback is due. Instead of saying feedback is due as soon as you can, that might mean different things to different people. Just providing a very clear deadline of when I need it back. And then the last part, which I think is one of the most important pieces, is having a very clearly defined and action-oriented subject. All right, so this is the reformatted email. The first thing that I did is I changed the subject line. I actually used an emoji because I think it just shows up differently. It calls things out. And then I started my subject line with the action I needed from them. So I always start it with the verb. Then I gave the topic, and finally I added the deadline. So a very clearly laid out subject line. Then from there, I changed the link to be really descriptive. So instead of saying click here, it says review upcoming session by clicking here. Then I put all of the text that I had that gives context around what I'm asking. I'm planning on presenting this to leadership next week. My goal is to have the Q4 dates finalized by then. And then I put all of the questions that I had for them together. I also put an emoji with a red flag next to a deadline. Very often people will put this in a bright color or they'll change it to italics. But if you are someone who is blind, low vision, or have color blindness, and even some people who are neurodivergent, it's really helpful to change the format in this kind of way so that they can very easily pull it out instead of having to read a very complicated or long email. Okay, now we're gonna go back to this email. This is the original email. And we're gonna go under review. And then over here, we can actually have this read aloud. And I just want you to hear how it sounds. And then we're gonna do the new version, and I just want you to be able to compare it. So to do that, we're gonna put our mouse where we want it to start reading, and then select read aloud.
Hello there. Here are the details that you asked me about earlier. Click here. What do you think about our upcoming sessions we were discussing the other day? Do you want to change anything? I am hoping to get the Q1 dates finalized by next week. Also, here is the graphic for the next event. Please review and send me your feedback as soon as you can.
Okay, now this is the updated version. Let's see what it sounds like.
Hello there. Here are the details that you asked about review upcoming session by clicking here. I am planning on presenting this to leadership for final review on Monday morning. My goal is to have the Q4 dates finalized by next week. Questions. What do you think about our upcoming sessions? Do you have any feedback, or do you think we should change anything? Can you please review this event graphic and send me your feedback by Friday at 9 o'clock?
So as you can see, just making a few format changes really does make a very big difference in its readability and really how people are able to consume it and digest what you're asking them to do. So I hope that this has inspired you to think differently about how you send emails, making them accessible for anyone who reads them. All right, everyone, this is Scribe that can help you create content that is clickable, easy, how-to, step-by-step in just a matter of moments. So this is an example of one that I created when I invite people into my Microsoft Teams VIP group. I want them to know exactly how to get on it, especially if they're already in the Microsoft ecosystem. So I actually use Scribe to create this, and I think that it is beautiful. It is so easy for them to follow along. So let me show you exactly how this can work. So in this scenario, let's just say that I want to create a how-to for someone. Yes, I could make a video, or the challenge might be that there's no closed caption. Maybe they're a visual learner, and I just want to create a very simple step-by-step tool so they can easily reference it and access it whenever they want. Now, for many of us, that can take quite a bit of time, but let me show you this amazing tool that's going to help you create these visual how-tos in a snap. So let's just say that I'm going to show someone how to use the loop components in Microsoft. Okay, first things first is I'm going to go up here. So this is actually a Chrome extension. If you use Edge, you can also have it in Edge. But I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to say Start Capture. All right, now it's going to capture everything that I do in my browser. So from here, all I want to do is I want to go to Home, New Email, and then I'm going to select inside of the body of the message. Mine is a little bit farther over here. I'm going to select Loop Components, and then for this one, let's just do a task list. Okay, now let's stop the capture and let's see what it created for us. Okay, now it created a name for me, but let's just change it. How to insert a loop component in Microsoft. So then we'll say this is a step-by-step instructions on how to create a loop component in Microsoft. Okay, so let's scroll down. So it has the link. So it not only did it capture everything that I did, but it gave an explanation. And if I wanted to be a little bit more descriptive, I could click on the pencil and I can edit this in any way, although I think this is absolutely fine. Click home, yes, click new mail, and then it goes all the way down. And then here I might just say, click inside the body of the email, yes, and then loop component, and then choose whichever one that they want. So here I'm going to change this to say, select the type of component. And there we go. All done. So here now I did a couple extra steps. So I'm going to delete these steps. Okay, so now I have a very clear step-by-step how-to on how to insert a loop component. I can send this to whoever I want. Now I can send it in a PDF, or if I wanted to, I could keep it so it's just a web page. So let me show you what that looks like. So if I wanted to go and share it, I would click on the top and hit share, and then I could just hit export, or I could email it to someone, but I'm going to hit export as a PDF. Now I will say that this is the free version. They also have a paid version that grabs everything on your desktop, but this one is just on the browser. So I'm going to select view PDF, and here is this beautiful how-to. Now because I'm on the free version, it does say scribe in the corner, which I'm fine with, but look at how wonderful that is. If I wanted to add steps, I could. It's so simple, and it really can help you create something in absolutely no time. Now let me show you, let's just say you want to keep this, but you don't want to send it as a PDF because maybe later on you're going to change the steps. So to do that, you can actually, I'm going to copy the link and then paste it so you can see what it looks like in the browser. And this is what somebody else is going to see. So at any point you could go in and edit this and change number 4 to say something else. So you can either have a PDF, you can have this like its own web page. It's a powerful tool, and I cannot wait to hear if you guys use it or not. Okay, so let's talk about body doubling. So the concept around body doubling is it's a productivity strategy to help people focus and stay on task. It's kind of like having a study buddy, but for work. So when you go into a body doubling session, you set your intentions for the time that you're there. And then you also can be accountable to those that are there and silently working on their work as well, whether or not you were able to complete it or not. Now, sometimes you ask for help, sometimes you're just there to crush out your work, but it is a wonderful way to create accountability around workspace, especially for those who are neurodivergent. I'm going to share with you 2 really cool apps for body doubling. If you're interested, you can always join them, or I actually hold a session every single month where we plan our upcoming month together. It's 2 hours of dedicated time with other administrative professionals. So you are more than welcome to join me, or you can check out these 2 apps and try it over there. Okay, for the first body doubling app, we're going to look at Flown. So Flown is probably the most robust and focused specifically on body doubling. So when you log in, you're going to go to the launch page, and I think it's free for the first 30 days. And then I'm not totally sure what the pricing is, but I think it's $9 or something like that a month. So what is great about this is you can actually join a body doubling session. There are so many that's available. I'll let you click through those on your own to see what is interesting for you. But they also have tools to help you focus and to learn more about, breathing and moving throughout the day. And we all know what huge productivity hacks that those are. When you think about doing some solo work, you could also work alongside someone else. So let's just see what that looks like. You can even do 40 seconds of gazing into nature. Are you practicing breathing? This is life@.io, and this is also another body doubling space. So as you can see, a lot of these have very calming backgrounds. They also have some, if you want to be in nature, that have music to them. Let's just turn this on so we can listen to a little bit of what they're calling cozy autumn ambience. One of the things that I really like about life@io is I can turn on my Pomodoro timer. So Pomodoro is a technique for productivity. It also helps people really just focus in. Now, I know that I told you that I was only going to show you two, but I just had to show you one more, which is the app by Hopin called Session. So it has some pretty cool tools in here, and we have done many a productivity party on Session. So let me show you a couple of things that I really like. So you can turn on your BRB sign, which I think is pretty cool. So if I was on video, it would show automatically, it would turn from my video to my picture and have the sign of BRB. When I turn on the BRB, it automatically goes mute and my video gets turned off. You can also raise your hand if you have a question or you need help, and it makes a little bit of noise to get people's attention. There's also a bunch of different emojis that you can go on here. Now, let's just say that you are hosting a body doubling session for your team, because I know many teams who have hybrid workers or everybody is remote, and a lot of them are doing body doubling just to create a sense of community and to provide a just encouraging environment for each other. So over here on the right, they have a bunch of host controls. So let's see what that looks like. So you can actually record, you can turn your stage on and off. Now when I turn this on, I could join the stage. My microphone is going to be the one in control. My video would be on. So it really does allow for a little bit more control. So I'm going to turn off the stage for a moment and show you a couple of the other things. Let's put my own hand down. So let's start the timer. So over here, you can see it goes into increments of 15 minutes. So I could put a 15-minute timer on. It makes a noise when it starts. And then I think for the last 2 or 3 seconds, it does another noise as it counts down. So we're going to exit that out here for a second. I could also do music just like I could at life@io. Let's do some lo-fi. Now I can turn this down if it's too loud. And when I do this, it can play for everyone. Now there's a couple other things that are on here. You can enable a Q&A, you can record the session. So if you are interested in trying a body doubling session, I would love to invite you to one of our productivity parties. We have them every month. If you're just kind of curious of what they feel like and what they look like, we would love to have you join us. If you want to try it on your own, I would suggest that you go to Flown and try that one first. Or if you're going to do it with your team, you could always come here to Session by Hopin and try theirs. So which one are you guys going to try first? Let me introduce you to one of my very favorite tools called Loom. Comment below if you've ever used it or if you love it. So Loom is a video messaging tool that can help you record messages, respond to messages, and reduce the number of meetings that you attend. If you're really thinking about people who are neurodivergent, this is a really powerful way to help people stay on track, be really intentional with their time and their attention and their focus. And to be honest, most of the time, as we've all said, that meeting could have been an email. Well, now it can be a video message. Now let me show you some of my very favorite features in Loom. Okay, so this is an example of a video that I do every month in my group. I announced the theme. This month we're focusing on meetings that don't suck. But one of the things that I love about it, whenever I create a video, it automatically creates the title with AI. If I scroll down, it also automatically creates a summary with AI. Now, I've gone in here and added a couple other things, just formatted it in a way that I wanted to, and really kind of made it my own. But also there are chapters and you can have tags. So I really love this for business. Now, let me show you some of the other things that I think are pretty cool too. A couple of features that I think are pretty amazing is it automatically has a transcript, which I love. We know tools like Microsoft Stream or Otter AI have tools like this, but I think this transcript is pretty fabulous. So if I look through here, it's pretty on point. I don't think it actually missed anything. And generally, I don't have to update anything with the transcript. It's usually pretty correct. The other thing that I love under here is I'm going to go under Edit. And if I wanted to, so I could get rid of, it found 8 filler words. These are things like, well, huh. So I could go here and ask it to remove both the text and the audio. And it automatically removed all 8 of those filler words. Because the transcription is powered by AI, the closed captions on here are pretty phenomenal. So I'm going to turn it on and let's watch it together and see what we think of the closed captions.
Hello, all of my amazing friends. I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about a topic this month in August that I'm super geeked out about. Of course, I know I say that about all of them.
So I don't know about you, but I thought those closed captions were pretty amazing. What I love about this is that even in a reply, I can just click record a comment. And if I'm someone who prefers to communicate verbally versus typing for whatever reason, I can do that really easily. And those comments are also transcribed. I think this is a really effective tool that helps people communicate to each other in a way that is easy for them. It drives engagement with the whole team. It is accessible for everyone because of the transcription, and closed caption is automatically in here through AI. And you cannot beat the fact that there is an AI description and AI title. This is also free up to 25 videos, and it's around $10 a month, but I'm telling you, it's 100% worth the price. So if you have not tried Loom, definitely check it out. I hope you love it as much as I do. So I have a challenge for you. When I found out how challenging it was to have closed captions on Zoom, if the person who was creating the meeting had never enabled it, I began a mission. I started a YouTube video just to show people exactly how to do it. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Please take a second and go watch that video and then share it with someone on your team. Views are nice, but what I'd really like is for people to take the extra step to actually enable closed captions for Zoom. There are millions of Zoom users, and unfortunately, it's just not as easy as some of the other applications to turn on captions. So I'm going to really encourage you to do that. And if you do that, I would love if you hit me up on social media and just let me know. So what was your guys' favorite tip, trick, or hack today? I don't know. I kind of love them all. But I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you joined my session and you took the time to learn about accessible tech. If you would like to connect with me, it would be my absolute pleasure. I would love to hear about your journey with accessible tech. So until we can see each other again, I hope to see you guys on social media. You can find me in hashtag all of the places. So I'll see everyone online. Bye, y'all.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe.